So students, today we are going to discuss the chapter Biodiversity and Conservation. Now, biodiversity, what is the concept of biodiversity? All of us know that there is huge number of organisms. When we look outside, we see wide array of types of organism, wide variety of organisms present, and so they all forms the basis of the biodiversity. And this is not that only the organism in that level. It is the from beginning from that biomolecule level to cell, and then the organism, and finally the organism forming community. All each and every levels, the changes or variation which occurs in each and every levels can contribute to biodiversity. Let us see. So you can see there are various levels of organization like biomolecules forming the subcellular structures. The subcellular structures are joining to form cells. The cells then joining form tissues. The tissues then joining to form the organs to organ system, and organ system to organism. So, and then these organisms can form, when similar type of organism group together, they are called population, and this population, numerous population, when grouped together, it forms community. The community when form the ecosystem, various communities, that it forms the ecosystem, various ecosystem form landscapes, and finally these various landscapes form biome, and finally the biosphere. So there are various levels of organization we have discussed, from the biomolecules to biosphere, and variation in every level can be considered as biodiversity. So till organism, from biomolecules to organism, this is called lower level of organization, and from organism to biosphere, this is called higher level of organization. So the variation may occur in lower level of organization, or the variation may occur in higher level of organization, but that will contribute to biodiversity. So according to Wilson, it is the diversity or variety of form found in the all types of components of the biological organization. So it is the variety of form found in the types of components of biological organization at all levels. So right from macromolecules to biosphere. Now here we will discuss basically three levels of biodiversity, that is the genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecological diversity. So three levels of biodiversity will be focused by us. That is, first of all, the genetic level of biodiversity. Now what is genetic level? It is the within a species. Suppose we are having a particular genus, and we are having a particular species also. Within a species, there also we find variations, small variations. Clear? And why this variation occurs? This variation occurs due to changes in the genes. Clear? It may be changes in the genes or their alleles. These may cause small variations. So here the variation may be in the alleles, maybe in the entire genes, or maybe in the chromosomes. Clear? So the levels may be in the alleles, maybe in the entire genes, or maybe in the chromosomal level. So this DNA, change in the DNA or variation in the DNA, that we know it is expressed as our characters, and when there is any change, that causes variation. Now we can go for an example like Laurulfia vomitoria. Laurulfia vomitoria, it is a plant which is found in the Himalayan region, and now what happens here? It is very famous for extracting reserpine. Clear? Reserpine is a drug which is obtained from Laurulfia vomitoria, and it is used to cure the blood pressure, snake bite. So it is used as a medicine for blood pressure, snake bite, etc. Now, Laurulfia vomitoria grows. We know that there are various ranges of Himalaya, and Laurulfia vomitoria grows in various ranges of Himalaya, and when we extract reserpine from that Laurulfia growing in various ranges of Himalaya, what we get, the thing that we get is the difference in the potency, that means level of functioning. So in what level the changes are there in reserpine? One is the potency, how it is functioning, in what degree it is affecting, and the concentration of reserpine. So these varies when we take same Rauwolfia vomitoria, that means having same genus, same species, but we are collecting from various ranges of Himalaya. So they are same genus, same species, but due to small genetic differences or differences in DNA, they have various there is variation in their potency of reserpine as well as in the concentration of reserpine that is extracted from the plant. Now likewise we have 50,000 of rice, 50,000 variety in rice, that is Oryza sativa. So Oryza sativa is the same species, clear, Oryza sativa, but we find various types of rice, various variations in rice. Likewise in mango also we find 1,000 variations we find in the Mangifera indica, which is also a similar genus and species. And another important thing I would like to mention here is that genetic variation, this variation increases with the variation in the environmental condition. More the type of environmental condition we get, more the genetic variation occurs within the same species. And children, you know, this is the root cause of speciation. Clear? This variation in the species is the root cause of speciation, forming new species. So next level of the biodiversity is the species level. Now species level, what do you mean by species level of diversity? That is the variety of species within a genus, clear, or variety of species found in a locality, and the relative abundance. So variety of species and their relative abundance in a locality is the species diversity. Like we find in Western Ghat, we have various types of amphibians, in species of amphibians. In Eastern Ghats also we have various species of amphibians, but the variety of species which we find in Western Ghat is much more greater than what we find in the Eastern Ghats. So variety of amphibian species which we find in Western Ghat is much more greater than that of the Eastern Ghat. So variety of species is the species richness, and the relative abundance is the proportionate representation of the species in a particular area. So these two unitedly give the species information about the species diversity. Another level of diversity which we want to discuss here is the ecological diversity. Ecological diversity, it is a diversity in larger level which mainly deals with the community level as well as ecosystem level. Clear? So ecological diversity is the diversity in a comparatively larger level which mainly is the community level and the ecosystem level. It represents the local unique habitat and the regional components. So local unique habitat and the regional components. So more diverse ecosystem we find in a larger area, more will be the variety of species. Like in India we have various types of ecosystem. It may be desert ecosystem, it may be mountain ecosystem. We have various types of ecosystem, forest ecosystem like deciduous, coniferous, ocean ecosystem. So we have each and every ecosystem has their unique assemblage of organism. So we have variety of species much larger than in respect to the areas which have the similar ecosystem or one or two ecosystem in the, like in Norway. In Norway, the major ecosystem is the grassland. So if we compare the area and the species rich variety, we will find much more variety due to various types of ecosystem in India than in respect to the Norway. The next problem is how many species do we have? This is a very critical question and we don't even know till now what is actually the figure is. But several efforts have been done, like in IUCN, International Union of Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. Clear, it is an organization in 2004 they estimated that there are about 1.7 million species in the world, and of which 70% are the animals. But why this huge variation in animals and less variation in plants is not sure, but there is 70% of these species, 1.4 million species, is animals. 22% are the plants, which includes all type of plants right from algae to angiosperms, and rest are the microbes and other prokaryotes and all. Now, many scientists have also tried their best to find out and have an estimate which may range about 5 to 50 million. Now, in Robert Mee, he gave an legitimate estimation of 7 million, because in addition to this, according to him, there are huge variety of species which are found in various depths of the ocean, which are still undiscovered, various inside various regions of Amazon. So there we find, and Wilson also stated that these new varieties which will be coming up in the coming years, they will be many of them the insects in these deeper areas of Amazons and all. So, and also we know that these prokaryotes, viruses, archaea, protozoans, in these cases also we are lacking clear to have a proper estimate, because we don't have the conventional methods which are used for estimating these taxonomic methods, which are used for estimating the species, number of species, is not very effective for this one. Many of these microbes are there which they are not culturable, they cannot be cultured in laboratory. Many of the viruses are there who mutate so faster. So to give a proper estimation of this area is also very difficult. So let us hope we will be able to give a proper estimation in coming future. Now, if we consider India, the position of India, will find that only 2.4% of the land in world's land area is there in India, whereas the species diversity is about 8.1%. Global species diversity is there, and there are nearly 45,000 plants and round about twice, that means 90,000 species of animals are there in India. So we can tell that India is quite rich in species diversity. Now, this global diversity, here are some global diversity representation. Now, how these organisms are nowadays there in the globally. If you go on with the global diversity, what we'll find, you can see this is the invertebrates, and you can see 75% of the invertebrates are the various species are the insects. So most of the species are there in the invertebrates. 75% of the species which are in the invertebrates are the insects, and then a small amount like is there in the mollusk, and finally very small amount in crustaceans, and all the others, that means all other apart from insect and mollusks and a very small amount crustaceans, all other animals together form this. So all other animals together forms like 10 to 12%. So think the huge amount of variety of insects are there. Now, if we go on for the vertebrates, what we are going to see, because we know that water is more in comparison to land, and there are various ocean depths where we can various types of fishes. So fishes is about 50% of the vertebrates. There is variety. 50% of the vertebrate, there are variety of species varieties by the fishes, and rest like that of the mammals, then the birds, then reptiles, and finally the amphibians. Amphibians are the least, having the least variety within the vertebrates. So within the vertebrates, amphibians have the least variety and fishes have the greatest variety of species. Now if we go on for the plants, what we are going to see, if we go on for the plants, then we will find that the various plants like angiosperms, it's about 45%, because now we know that the most dominating organisms are the angiosperms and they are the 45%. Another very important part is by fungi. Another very important part is taken by fungi. So fungi also have a high species diversity. But you see, in spite of these huge oceans, huge amount of water content in comparison to land, algae is the diversity in algae is very less. And lichens, we know lichens are the disappear where there is pollution, and nowadays so pollution, so lichens, the species diversity of lichens is very less, and it is. And if we go on for the ferns and mosses, these are also dependent on water. They have these totally dependent on water to complete their life cycle, and they are also very few. And fungi, being highly invasive, they don't depend. They have spores and they have other characters which help them to extend in such a alarming rate. Angiosperms also have a very high rate of diversity.